Welcome to the FreeGameDonD podcast, life, family, and business. Yeah. So today I have the pleasure of having on Dr. Jessica Shine. She is a licensed professional counselor, trauma specialist, and entrepreneur with over a decade of experience helping people heal, grow, and show up differently in their lives and relationships. She's also the founder of Healing and Healthy Counseling, which is a private practice. And she's also the creator of Pretty Girls Heal, a healing-centered lifestyle brand and movement focused on authenticity, emotional wellness, and breaking generational cycles. Dr. Shine, tell the
Yes,
people who
sir.
you are.
Hello. Thank you all for having me. Definitely appreciative for that. I'm Jessica Shine. Born and raised Augusta, Georgia. Have my doctorate in counseling, focused in trauma. Attended the local schools here, and a wife, a mother, a sister, granddaughter, all those things. And just a lover of mental health and just being proactive in that movement and being impactful and just walking in my purpose. This is very important. So it's a pleasure for me to be here.
Mm. I'm a wife, mother, and a lover of mental health.
Yes, sir.
You better speak. You better say it. You better say that.
Absolutely.
I love that. So, listen. So, how did you even get involved in it? And look, let's just be honest. I mean, we're
Hmm.
black.
Hmm.
So if people are like, yeah, we know we can tell y'all black. I'm just saying black from the standpoint of, wanting to be a therapist. I think statistics said that 5% of therapists are black. So it's not like there's this ground swelling movement for blacks to go into therapy. And what attracted you to get into therapy
To getting into therapy
as a profession?
as a profession,
Yes, ma'am.
I fell in love with my first sociology class, first behavioral science class. I fell in love, and I knew I was in love because I was upset when the teacher canceled class. And I was like, yeah, that's not normal. Uh, and I wanted to continue to learn about all things related to like how our brain worked, like how we were impacted socially, how we were impacted environmentally, how we were impacted physically and biologically. So that interest came from me starting in one sociology class and just how that prompted and just the percolation of what I wanted to continue to learn about. And as I learned more and more and more, I fell in love with the idea of therapy and how it's not talked about culturally as often as it should be. Um, I know I'm dating myself a bit, but when I would, when I grew up watching therapy, I often saw, and probably as many other people often saw, a white guy sitting in a chair, the
Mm.
person laying on the sofa, and the person taking the notes. And there was not representation of black or brown people in therapy. So that was really intriguing to me, and so I wanted to dive deeper into that and like, what does that experience like look like for people like us? So that one class spiraled into me wanting to be a therapist and know what that experience was like and give that experience to others.
Mm. No, I love that. Now, I know your specialist is trauma. So, what attracted you to specializing in trauma?
I think what made me, which it sounds strange, like who falls in love with trauma? Uh, like, are you okay? No,
No.
right? Like, answer short. You look short and sweet. No, um, but it was how impactful trauma is to us and how
Mm.
it shapes our way of thinking and how it can be so crippling and how we can be also empowered going through like a healing process. And the difference that therapy makes when a person is being supported with trauma. I think I just was able to just learn the impact. I just kept wanting to learn more. And I just kept wanting to show up in that space to help other people put a name to so many things that they did not know what they were experiencing because they didn't even know the terminology. They don't even know. Half the time, we're not even understanding what we're experiencing. We just know it's a feeling. And being able to share that and those light bulbs come on for people and them be validated in that experience, that's what made me want to continue with trauma because I know the shame and the guilt and the heaviness that trauma carries and the freedom that you can get from allowing a person to show up and support you in that space to process it and free you.
Whew, Lord have mercy. So as a young person though, like most people run from their trauma.
Mhm.
So it's like you ran to this and
Mhm.
and then decided I'm gonna help other people.
Mhm. That's why I said, "Are you okay?" Like, who wants to do that? I wanted to understand, if I'm being quite honest, I wanted to understand the dynamics and people that were around me, and that's no
Hold up, hold up,
shade.
hold up, hold up. You gotta stop there. I wanted to understand the dynamics of the people that were around me.
Mhm.
Oh my God. Before you go any further, speak to that.
Well, you know something is not right, and you learn that through your body. Like, our body is our first indicator that something doesn't feel right. And something
Mm,
doesn't feel in alignment, and like, why when we get together it has to be like an argument? Why do when we get together is this? Why does that person respond that way, like, and I don't? What's happening there? And
mm,
so, like, I wanted to learn, like, why are you made up that way and why am I made up that way? I
mm,
really wanted to understand that, really, from like a family dynamic and outside of even a family dynamic of just like how we navigate the world with other people. Like, well, why would one person treat that person that way? What's wrong with them? I really wanted to understand that. And so it all led back to like, oh, that's why you show up that way.
mm,
You show you might not be like truly a evil person. You might just be so hurt
mm.
that like that's just spilling out of you. What is happening? I want to know.
So you wanted to unpack people's trauma responses.
Absolutely. Even like addiction, like how did you get there?
Wow. Yeah.
Like you'll look at, and I had that experience in like my family of like, man, seeing this person like so beautiful or so like handsome and feeling like they got the world, at their fingertips. Like, how did you get here? Like how did that happen? What happened to you? Like I want to know what happened to you. And you start unpacking that stuff and you're like, ah, ooh, you got there because like you needed to cope of like that experience. Like you got to drugs as the gateway to like this hurt. So like
Mm,
you having a deep impact that nobody may not know, but now it's coming up through like your addiction.
mm. Here's my thing. Like, I had posted something on social media one time
Hmm.
about the culture, and I was like, the culture can counsel me because the culture needs a therapist. So you see things
Amen.
in our culture, and we just kind of like, so you didn't accept it as okay, that's just how it is,
No.
because I think most of us do.
Hmm.
So we just, that's what it means to be in that particular culture. That's how they handle things, and we just accept it as normal, without even
Right.
questioning why are people doing things the way they're doing them. We just accept it as a societal norm in our culture, and we just and you didn't do
No, I think I was wired differently.
that.
No, I mean, you could have, and I have one living grandparent. My grandmother is 93, and my grandmother, my mom could attest to this. Like, she just was wired differently. They couldn't spell things out. Like when I learned to spell, like, okay, we just gonna have to say whatever it is because this girl, I wanted to know why. Why are you doing that? What are you doing? I always wanted to know the why. And this doesn't make sense. Well, why are they doing that? And a lot of times it's like these are adults, like I can't appropriately say these things to this child.
Wow.
Um,
So when you said why,
mhm,
they gave you answers?
sometimes.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of household you was in because
So, I mean, but my grandparents would like my grandparents would give me answers, or I was an investigator, so I would find answers.
okay.
Like wired differently. Like this girl just good. Do you stop? And I know I got on a lot of people's nerves, but I wanted to know. I wanted to know the why. What is happening? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then go back and report it. So I wanted all the details.
Wow. And let me ask you this, like, you talk about trauma responses and all of that. Like, um, did you also want to have a better understanding of maybe emotions that you were also trying to process?
100%. But I think the awareness, like that part of it, of like my own, like why I'm showing up that way, that didn't come until probably college.
Mm.
Because for me, that was like, that's just normal.
Right.
Like your reflection, you don't see it. You're
right.
like, I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like we all, until we develop this level of self-awareness, we can
Mm.
all walk around like we're like the greatest thing since sliced bread until somebody like flips the mirror and say, no, actually you're not. My experience of you is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. And that level of awareness just came through knowledge of like when I was in college learning these different terms and learning about how the mind works and healthy relationships. And you're like, oh, that's unhealthy? I thought it was, but now you telling me like this is unhealthy. And so like that, I really wanted to start learning more and more and more about myself. Like why you show up that way. And I don't think it came until, to be quite honest, much later in life where I actually start like, okay, now you need to change it. You got the awareness, but
Mm.
now you need to actually start doing something about it because that's an excuse at this point. Now you just leaning into it, and that's unhealthy for you. Why are you showing up that way? That came later of like that motivation to change.
So you always wanted to be a therapist, like a counselor, even when you were like a kid before you even got to college. You knew what you wanted to be.
I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Okay. okay.
I wanted to be a pediatrician. I wanted to help because I used to always say I want to help people.
Mhm.
And when I got to college, to be quite honest, I saw the salary of a nurse anesthetist and I said I want to do that because I like that salary. And took my first biology class and was like, I do not want you to do that um, with the dissection of a pig. And so I was like, you know what, let me just work on some of these general education classes. And that's when I found got into that sociology class.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this is it. Life change. I was like, yep, let's go ahead and do this. Psychology degree, here I come, sociology minor. And I just added after that.
Wow. No, that's incredible. Now, I know when you sent over your bio and I was looking over it, I pointed out the Gottman method because I
Mhm.
thought that was pretty cool in relations to relationships. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure, sure. So, I when I was working for a group practice, the owner was like, "I think you'll do really, really well in couples therapy," and I was like, "You sure?" Like, "Yeah, just pay for the training," and she paid for the training, and it is an expensive training. And I got in, I was like, "Okay, I like it," and so I'm working with couples, and I was like, "Hmm, couples are hard." I was like, okay, let me take the second part. And let me take the second part of the training. And I did, and I really enjoy the framework. Like I think with Gottman, it's you can take what you need from it. That is how I incorporate it into the work that I do with couples is I take what I need and I apply it. Because granted, it is wonderful, it's wonderful work that he and his wife do regarding couples therapy, but I can see some cultural aspects of where it
Mm,
does not apply to
mm.
the whole. And so I take what I need. And to me, I think that's how I approach therapy. Take what you need. and let it apply to you. And I love the framework of Gottman's therapy because it addresses um, the individual and it addresses the couple.
Mm.
And a part of that framework, you have to do an individual session with each person. And in those individual sessions that you do with each person, they have to go over their history of how they saw love shown. How did they see relationship dynamics form? What traumas do they have personally? You have to do that in the Gottmans in their framework, and that's so important because if you're taking two individuals that have never navigated through therapy, that compounds the work that it can. I'm not saying it happens in all cases, but it can compound the work that you're trying to do with that person because they could be navigating through hurts and traumas that is impacting how they're showing up in their communication or lack of communication with their partner. And it's this third party that could be really emerging into your marriage or relationship that you don't even recognize. Because y'all never even navigated like that healing. Oftentimes I'm working with two unhealed people that's
Mm.
saying, now just address the relationship issue.
Right.
And it's like, I can't
Wow.
without I can't I that's a band-aid approach. I don't do band-aid approach. That's just not how I'm wired with trauma. I do root work and I tell clients that
Mm.
from the get-go. I can give you that band-aid approach, but I don't like that because all I'm doing, how I feel, and every therapist is not created equal. I say that often. Get with who
Mm.
you need to get with. But as for me, I like to do what I call root work because if I'm not addressing what's happening at the root, I'm just really putting a temporary band-aid on whatever you all are that's presenting at that moment. But trust and believe that thing is going to be disguised as something else 6 months, 6 years later from now. And you're going to have the same issue. So if we're not addressing what's really at that root, then I'm really a disservice to you at that point. Prime example is like if you have abandonment wounds, this could be the male or whatever dynamic of that relationship. Let's say we have one partner that's dealing with abandonment wounds, and when you all get into an argument, the other person leaves. Well, the other person has a attachment wound. So when you leave, it feels like you could be just decompressing, but it feels like you're leaving them. That has to be addressed as individuals before this person can even understand like I don't even realize like you're getting anxiety about me going to decompress because I didn't know I was signaling a message to you that I was leaving you, not leaving to calm down. And or when you say this, it feels like you're rejecting my love. So that's tapping into my feelings regarding like value and worthiness. Like I could just do like, okay, we arguing about soap, but we're not arguing about soap.
Right. Right. Right.
So that's what the long and short of it is like the Gottman method really allows for you to dive into like the couple as like individuals and then bridging them back together.
Wow. No, that was that was incredible. Um, listen, when I was not to get too much into the Gottman,
Yeah.
his principles, but he said something about he said that marital conflicts fall into two categories: resolvable conflict and perpetual conflict. And I was reading over something, I was like, man, that's pretty incredible because it sounds true,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking to couples, like a lot of times, like, because you talked about how you do root work, do
Mm-hmm.
you ever have couples that don't want to do the root work, like they just want to deal with the surface stuff, or do you force them to do the root work? And
Well, I'm big on consultation, so I tell them that before you even invest any time besides 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes with me and just seeing if we're a good fit, I need you to know we're a good fit before I take any money because that's an investment. when you're doing therapy. With me, that's a financial investment. So I tell couples that's what I do, and I'm going to challenge you, and you're probably going to feel uncomfortable, but just know that this is the expectation. And so couples that don't want to do that, then they fizzle out of therapy. And that was something I had to navigate through as well when I began doing couples therapy. Was That was more so about like those individuals than it was like me not being
Mm.
impactful and effective for that couple.
So,
Some
so, so look real quick. So,
Mhm.
even as a therapist, when you, I'm assuming that you, um, I don't know, people come to see you for a while, you're feeling the
Yep.
connection, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden they stop coming.
Ghost you.
How does that? So, I mean, because now I'm listening to a therapist. Like, how does that make you feel? I'm assuming that,
That didn't
you know.
feel good at first. I
Okay.
mean, really, when I was really, really early in my career, just 1,000% honesty, I went to a very internal place where I think most humans do because it feels like, what did I do
Personal,
wrong?
right?
Right? What did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? You're in your head about it, like, man, because I really want to be helpful and impactful. I want to help you advocate and advocate for you, and so that ghosting it stung initially, but just as I continued to just grow and learn, it has nothing to do with me. It has
Mm.
everything to do with that so many different variables for that person. Like it could be their readiness. It could be that was way too challenging for
Mm.
them at that time. I could have uprooted some things that they're just not ready for right now. It could be financial. It could be so many different variables connected to that. But now if a person does that, I'll check on them, and if they'll respond, I'm like, you don't need to explain anything to me. I just want to make sure you're good. And outside of that, especially if it's a person I have had, like I've developed a therapeutic relationship with. But if it's someone fairly new, I take it as I understand this may have not worked for you, or you may have lost the connection with me. And I'm okay with that because I want you to find who is for you. That's the most important thing to me is you getting the help that you need. I'm okay with not being for you.
Wow. Listen, man. Wow, because having a therapist and having that connection is real because
Mhm.
I made a purchase, a business purchase, I don't know, about a week ago. It was an automobile that I've had purchased for the business, and someone felt entitled to the sale, someone in my family,
Mhm.
and I didn't do the sale through them.
Mhm.
And I called them for some other assistance, and they got mad at me because I didn't do the sale through them, and they hung up on me.
Mm.
They even texted me and cursed at me.
Mhm.
And for a second there, I got triggered,
Mhm.
and I had to call my therapist.
Yep. Good.
And even though we have sessions every other Thursday, he answered my call. I said, "Hey,
Absolutely.
this triggered me,"
Mhm.
and shout out to him because he, it helped me. I think I was doing okay. I think I was going to respond
Yeah.
appropriately or whatever. But
Mhm.
having that therapist, man, having that, like you talk about, having that relationship with with your patients,
Yes.
and that's what I have with my therapist. It's like, man, if I feel something, I can shoot him a text or
Mhm.
I can call him real quick. If he don't answer, he's gonna call me right back
Mhm.
just to make sure that I'm okay.
Absolutely.
Because doing this work is ongoing. It doesn't
Absolutely.
stop.
Cuz life keeps going.
But you know something, Doc? I learned something about myself in that situation that I didn't know. I'm triggered by entitlement. People who feel entitled to something that I've worked for, especially people that I've already given things to,
Mhm.
I don't owe you anything. And I realized in that moment that, man, that's a trigger for me
Mhm.
that I didn't even know.
Mhm.
So now that I realize that and identify that as a trigger, now I think I'm better equipped to deal with situations like that. So yeah, shout out to you, man, for being for even caring. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
not just business. I mean, of course, I mean you run a practice. I mean, yeah,
Right.
but still, you know what I'm saying? Like you truly care about your patients, man. And I think that's a wow. That's great. You got your brand here, handsome and healing. I know the foundational brand is Pretty Girls Heal,
Yes, sir.
which is really cool. Speak to that a little bit. Like, how did that come? Like, what is that brand? And then we'll get into some other questions. But like, what is the brand?
So Pretty Girls Heal is the brand that was really birthed out of obedience and purpose, if I'm being completely honest. And it's I call it a movement because I feel very strongly and passionately about it being a movement, but it is very much about us healing, um, whatever that looks like. And in healing with whatever that looks like is not the aesthetics of being pretty or the aesthetics of being handsome. It is the internal work
Mm.
that we're doing and externally what people are actually experiencing. We can think we are the most attractive person ever, but people remember how you made them feel. And when you are operating in a healed or healing version of yourself, people's experiences is very different and very positive. So this brand is in alignment with that purpose and definitely trying to convey the message of healing emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. We all have our different hurts and traumas, and so that's what it's all about. Along with handsome and healing being under that umbrella because
So you didn't want to leave the guys out.
we did not want to leave the guys out, and my husband has been such a intricate part of that.
Yeah, husbands are great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Yeah,
husbands.
shout out to the husbands, man.
Husbands are great, but just such a intricate part in the brand, and just really I call it co-authoring, right? Because
Mm.
God is the lead author, and we're just the co-authors. But just him being a co-author in this brand with Pretty Girls Heal and Handsome and Healing, he has about 5 different jobs in this brand that we are operating together, and he is taking care of the men with from what he wants the bib to look like, and this is what men will like, and all these things, and that's important. That's really really important to me, and just being that support. But I didn't want to leave men out because oftentimes men have to navigate a healing process,
Mm.
what feels like on their own,
Mm.
and they are just as important as everybody else. And the lived experience of black and brown men is different than everybody else, and that's a fact. And so I definitely wanted my husband being a black man who 100% advocates for therapy and men getting therapy, and the black men that we created, our sons advocating for therapy and utilizing therapy. That's a big deal. So that was very very important to me.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I love what the brand is and what it represents. Pretty Girls Heal, Handsome and Healing. I love it all because it's making healing and therapy cool.
mm-hmm,
And we need to do that because we grew up in cultures that did not make it cool. Um, they put
absolutely,
negative labels on certain family members or whatever,
mm-hmm,
and they just needed someone to talk to, someone to listen to them, someone to
absolutely.
understand them, and we didn't take the time out to do that. And so I love you making it cool. The hats are cool. You
Thank
also
you.
okay? You got hats. I want to make sure. So I know we got hats. We got shirts too.
We are coming.
Okay, you coming? Okay,
We are coming with it all. So right now we have the hats and we have the
the
beanies,
beanies. That's
and
right.
we are coming with spring and summer hats. We're coming with spring and summer clothes for Pretty Girls Heal and Handsome and Healing. We're coming with socks, and it's going to be so much more the fall too. These jackets that you all are messaging me about, and these hoodies, I got you. We're coming.
I love that. So right now we have the hats and we have the beanies,
Right.
which are so cool.
Thank you.
Um, and I know on the why part we talked about how your obedience to God and
Mhm.
healing, and we talked about listen trademark because I think this is big because
Mm.
I don't think people understand like you have an idea and
Right.
talk about your process of owning this idea.
Right. So, this process of owning this idea was, I was surprised, but again, I mean, I'm going to talk about God. So, uh, it was just in this alignment regarding just like my obedience of how no one, there's a hat literally for everything, and how no one thought of like making this statement that is like so impactful globally. No one had thought about that, but yet that's something that God downloaded into me. And from just inception of me looking for a hat like that, man, that would be a nice statement. Like I would buy that hat, and like it not being available. Oh, well, then maybe you need to make it available. Going through that process, and just my husband, just like I was sharing with you, I said I was making a napkin. I was like, yes, let's do it. Who do I need to talk to about you making these napkins? But just the day I thought of it, of him like connecting with vendors of like, yes, you need to birth this into the world.
But let's go back further than that because you
Yeah,
said that y'all were out one day and you saw pretty girls.
I do
What you
I
saw?
do all the pretty girls makeup.
Okay, you saw that on
Yeah,
some
I saw it on a hat,
on
and
a
I was
hat.
like, so nobody has pretty girl. Let me look for a pretty girl's heel hat because like that's what I do. That's what I am. That's what I stand for. And nothing. I was like, "Yep, get my LLC."
Mm.
And this thing is like so important and so impactful. I was like, "I'm a trademark it."
Oh
And
my God.
so I went through the process of like trademarking Pretty Girls Heal and Handsome and Healing. That's that's how important it was to me, and that's how much I knew of like alignment because it's a process in trademarking.
Mm.
And I knew when I went through that process, I was like, yeah, this means a lot to you. Um, so that's how I worked through that trademarking process of like securing Pretty Girls Heal because I know the importance of it because I know its alignment with it, its purpose.
I love that, and I wanted you to speak to that because there's people out there right now just slapping something on something,
Hmm.
and and I need to let people know like this is not that, okay?
Right.
so,
Okay.
so I'm just saying. I mean, this is not that. So
Right.
like you own this. This is your brand for real.
For
Okay,
real.
this has been trademarked. This is yours. This is yours. You've done the work, and shout out to you for doing that. And I think that's important for our people to hear that because I
Absolutely.
want them to know that it's possible, right? And so
Absolutely.
when you see someone that looks like you doing something, then you realize that you can do it too.
1000%. Go out there, trademark your stuff.
Come on now,
And don't pay for other people to trademark it.
yeah.
Read the directions.
Read the directions.
Read it. Save yourself some money. I mean, it could cost a lot to get someone else to trademark it. I looked it up. I was like, okay, we're gonna do step by step, and it's working.
And how
So
long did it take you to get this trademark?
so you can. I'm still going through the process to get it registered, but you can trademark it the day you go through the process of signing up for a trademark. Once it's initially accepted, you can put trademark on it. The only thing that takes a long time is the kind of weeding through process to make sure nobody anywhere, because I went through the US trademark versus like a Georgia trademark. I went through for the United States. So doing that, they navigate through making sure that there is no one anywhere that has ever used anything in similarity
Mm.
to that.
Even
Um,
outside of the country, or
I think
or
this
just
is
or just United States?
I, it's US. What is it? USPTO. So I believe it just. If I'm pretty sure I'm correct, I think it just applies to the United States.
Okay.
But I went through that process, and I'm really, really far along with that process. So I started that like when I did my when I obtained my LLC, I immediately went to going through the trademark process.
Wow.
And you can, and to people out there, even if you have already like developed a brand for yourself, you can still go through the trademark process, even if you have something out there. You can still do that. And so that's just something, just some knowledge I obtained going through this process for myself.
Hmm. No, I
But
love that. I love that. Now, the name, Pretty Girls Healed. So we didn't talk about this prior, but we're gonna talk. On my action. I mean, of course, you're a pretty lady, so I guess that's what I
well,
guess. I guess that makes sense. But
well,
so
thank you, sir.
what made you come up? Like, where did that Pretty Girls Heal? Like,
Yeah. The Pretty Girls Heal was really a play on the term like pretty, if I'm being honest, because it wasn't about your beauty. It
mm,
was about it was about your beauty, but internally. Like I've met
mm,
some of the most beautiful people that I don't know if you would consider them aesthetically beautiful or not, but I would. Because like I see them internally. Those are the people that I gravitate to. Like, yes, I want to be around you. I could soak you up. Like all I see is beauty and pretty and handsome in you because of like who you are at the core. I'm big on like the core of a person. Like, who are
mm,
you when nobody is watching? Who are you when you're angry? Who are you when somebody has done you wrong? Like,
mm,
how are you showing up? So really, it wasn't the play on like because you're a pretty girl. No, you're a pretty girl because you're pretty to people and how you treat people and how you show up and how you doing the work yourself. It's more of internal. That's how you pretty. How did
mm.
somebody experience you? Man, she was so sweet. She was so kind. You a pretty girl. You gotta be. Because the you could be pretty and like she was the worst.
Right.
It,
For
he
sure.
is awful.
For sure. For sure.
They're not remembering like you look real good. It's like, I remember you being awful.
For sure.
It, people remember how you make them feel. So that was really the play on like, if you healing, yeah, you pretty.
So that's wow. See, I like that.
You healing, you handsome.
If you're healing, you're pretty. If you're healing, you're handsome. That's dope. I
Hmm.
love that. And even you've had some health battles,
For
and
sure.
you've even attached that,
Hmm.
and talked about that being a part of the healing process. Speak to that.
Sure. So, lupus, like I was sharing with you before, and if this is anyone's first time um, meeting me and hearing about just my story, I was diagnosed with lupus at 40, and the color purple is connected to lupus, just the awareness and being lupus warrior, but the healing journey that I can safely say I'm still navigating through with that diagnosis because it was a loss of identity. And in regard to your your body fails you. So you cannot do the things that you used to do. You cannot even your cognitive ability, the brain fog, you'll lose your frame of thought, all kinds of things. That's a loss in identity, especially when I value my ability to do so much. I found great value in being needed and what I could complete. And that was stripped away. So I had a terrible relationship with lupus. I hated lupus. I said it out loud. I hate you. My husband would like, let's go on this lupus walk. He is like, he's championing me during this. And that's what he's supposed to do. Like that's what a supportive partner is supposed to do. And for me, all I could think about was like what it took from me. I did not want to celebrate it. And so the first year I was like, I don't want to go. Why I want to walk with these people? Like what they celebrate? But when I talk about like that
Mm,
ugliness, that is not any type of like prettiness attached to like even that thought process. But like as I navigated through healing with that and definitely with my therapist, and that's a beautiful thing I love about therapy too, is just like she was just as hurt as I was with my diagnosis. Um, she was like, this is unfair. And I was like, because she saw everything that I had been overcoming. She was like, this has knocked you down. This is so unfair to you. And being seen and heard in that space by this person that has been on this journey with you, And we had to navigate through that, and my husband had to, man, support me in so many different ways. Like, you got to help me bathe. You got to get me a stool for the shower because my legs will give out. Like, I was angry with lupus. And so as my healing journey continued to grow, so did my invitation with lupus being a part of my life versus like my rejection of lupus being a part of my life. And so while we're together, that's what I say about lupus is while we're together, then I will celebrate and I'll celebrate you, and I'm gonna give you purpose. Like, yep, I may have my pain associated with it. I may go through my grieving process regarding like identity and things that I used to do, but you're gonna have purpose regarding this. I'm gonna make you work.
Wow. You're gonna be here. You're gonna do some work,
You're gonna do
Lupus.
some work, lupus.
I,
Right?
I love that, man. You said so many great things there. You talked about even your husband. Uh, Shout out to Coach Shine, man. That's
Please.
my guy, man.
Major
Because
shout out.
yeah, major shout out, man. Because you said something. I don't want people to miss this. You said that he supports you, and he's supposed to do that. And people may say, well, people don't have to. No. If you're a supporter, if you're a husband or a wife, you're supposed to
Absolutely.
support. That's what good husbands and wives do.
Absolutely.
Those of you that don't believe that, you don't have one.
Right.
So that's the problem.
Right.
So she fully expects her husband to show up, and he shows up
Every time.
because he's a good one.
Yes.
I love
Great one.
that. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, every step of the way. Every step of the way, everything I do, everything I touch, and even like navigating through like the difficulties and complexities of like lupus and how guilty I feel because of like what he has to fill in the gap. That is the reality of it. He has to fill in the gap. And this is a man that's already working like 14, 16-hour days all the time. 6 days a week, no, 7 days a week. This is a man that is putting in work and comes home with a smile and like ready to serve, and like the guilt that I've had to, and he never, that's mine, that's my stuff, that I continue to work and heal through, but never makes me feel guilty. It's like, I'm so happy to be doing this.
Man, you better listen.
I mean, that's what those are the words I hear. Like, I'm so happy to be doing this. No, I'm already working on that. Like something, even with that's why I say he's the co-author. I'm a co-author over here. He's the co-author over here. And I'm like, you know what I was thinking of? He was like, I already got a flyer for it. I already got this done for it. I mean, just, man, it's a blessing, and God first, and definitely him right there.
Come on now.
Right there, because it wouldn't be possible for sure.
Yeah, no, I love him, man. Because of course, my son sees, your husband,
yeah,
and when he can't do it, he'll send a message.
Yeah,
and it's like it's in this matter of factly, it's not like, hey, no, it's like I can't do it because I got to do this for my wife.
Yeah,
and it's that's how it's supposed to be.
Right, exactly.
And of course, now that I've had a chance to chop it up to you, I'm like, hey, first of all, I was always like, yes, sir. I mean, because my wife comes first. So, I mean, it's God and it's my wife. And everybody else, even my kids, because y'all cool, but, at some point, y'all going to leave me. So,
exactly.
So it's me and her.
Absolutely.
So I get it, man. I've always got it. But now that I've had a chance to chop it up with you and get your spirit and energy, I'm like, say less, coach. It's all good, man.
I appreciate that.
But you said something else too, like, and I don't want this to go unnoticed. You talked about your therapist. So my therapist has a therapist.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I want you to know your therapist should have a therapist, because who are they unpacking with? Like, I think that's really, really important, because we're living life too. Like, life is life for us. Just
so people think because you're the therapist that your life ain't lifing.
All day long, all day strong. Like, life is still lifing for me. And I want to be able to, I think that's really important, because I want to be able to show up for you and be present. And I can't be present if I'm trying to navigate through my stuff. Like, I really cannot.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
I can't pour from an empty cup. And I want you to have so much success
Mm.
In therapy. So I have to work through my stuff. And I also like in working through my stuff, I gotta make sure like I'm not showing up projecting. Like you gotta be doing this
Mm.
work. Because your client could bring up something and it's like triggering, and here you are responding from a triggered place. Like, hold on. Like, no, you need to navigate those things. So it's really important for me. And just like I look for my therapist in the daytime with a flashlight, my clients look for me the same way. Like, look, I almost went up. Like, I'm
Mm.
so glad you text and you did not. Did you send a message? No, I didn't say thank you. Ooh, I'm so proud of you. Don't send that text. Like, that's why I text you. That's why I called you.
That's what
Thank you.
that's what my therapist said. Did you send that?
Yeah.
I said no, I didn't. It's on the way though.
Right, right. I was like, oh, I'm so glad. Okay, let's talk about it. What happened? What came up?
I
What
love
did it
that.
hit?
So
What did it
so
hit for
so
you?
you
Yeah.
listen to Dr. Shine tell you that if you're looking for a therapist, ask your therapist, do they have a therapist? Because they need one.
Many clients that potential clients that do consultations, they'll ask that, and I'm like, you should. I am not
I've
offended
never
by
thought
that.
about that.
I'm not
Yeah.
offended at all. Yep, I do.
I,
And talk
yeah.
to her all the time. Love it.
Yeah, I've never. Okay, wow. Let me ask you this: like, where is the product today? Where is Pretty Girls Heal? Like, where are you now with the branding and marketing of that product?
So where we are now is we're really gearing up for the spring and the summer. But this is, like I was sharing with you, this is
Mhm,
just the beginning.
mhm,
Um, I like to lean on the word of saying like it's a movement because it is, because this is going to bridge the gap on I think a lot of the connection to normalizing healing, whatever that looks like for you. And definitely if that looks like healing mentally and emotionally, like I want you to like, just like we put on essentials, um and what does essentials say? God's, is it, can't think of how essentials is, but it's something related to God. Like, just like there is this confidence and this swag attached to that, like there needs to be this confidence, attached
mm,
to Pretty Girls Heal and Handsome and Healing. So yes, it's gonna start. It starts with the hats, and yes, we're gonna merge into clothes, and we're gonna merge into socks and things like that. But trust and believe, like
mm.
you're gonna see me. You're gonna see me with journals. You're gonna see me because I want to help us. We're gonna process this stuff one way or the other. You're gonna see me with journals. You're gonna see me, see us produce books. You're gonna see a format or a forum that is going to connect you with therapists, other therapists, if you're looking for it. It's gonna provide you psychoeducation about terms
Mm.
that you may have not known. But now we're going to normalize these terms for you. It's going to be resources regarding therapy that you don't even know about. It's really going to be this brand of connecting healing to everyone globally, and this is just the beginning of it.
Wow. No, I love that. Yeah. So let me say this too, man. I think it's so cool. You said something that I thought was really cool. You said confidence and swag attached to healing. And we need to have that. It needs to be cool to wear swag that is in reference to healing. And I've never thought about that. But I can just imagine having a handsome and healing hat on and someone said, where you get that from? And I'd be like, man, I got it from a therapist. Or I got it from
Right.
my therapist. That's dope.
Right.
To be a therapist and to have a brand, I ain't gonna say shout out to that practice in Atlanta. So I mean, like, shout out to you for taking advantage of that. I got my business hat on now, so I don't want to geek out on any kind of business stuff, but like that's, and I'm sure you're not thinking about it on that level. This is just a calling for you,
Thank you.
and you're at the beginning stages of it. But man, that's dope. To be able to really market and brand that and make folks proud to not only wear that swag, but if someone asks them, say, yeah, I see a therapist. Open up that discussion about therapy
Yes.
because we need it. So shout out to you for that, man. You can speak to that.
Thank you. No, I really, really appreciate that. I wear the hat everywhere I go.
Mm.
And people are like, I love that hat. What does that hat mean? Like here's card. And then I go into like what the hat means. And it resonates with so many people. But yeah, let's get the conversation started. Let's normalize it. So it's not a big deal if you're going to yeah, I got a therapist. Okay, cool. Like we normalize that. My husband and I normalize that for and I know I've spoke with DJ about this before, but we normalized that with him, and I was like so proud that he didn't have any like shame attached to it. He was
Mm.
like I think 14 or 15, and he was like just kind of like navigating through like social anxiety at like
Mm.
14 and 15 because performance as a basketball player you can do amazing, at that time like you killing in the gym, but yet when you're like in the game you're overthinking.
Mm.
And so it was like this social anxiety aspect of it. And I was like, no, you need your person. Like, I want you to have your person. You talk to that person. You say whatever you want to say. I was like, you can drag us through the streets if you need to in your therapy session. I was like, your therapist cannot share anything with
Right.
us unless you're talking about doing some harm to yourself or others. I was like, that's the only thing. Everything else, I was like, that's yours. And he was like scheduled for an appointment or something like that, and I heard him on the phone with one of his cousins. He was like, "Yeah, I got to go to my therapy session," and I
Mm.
was like,
That's so
I was
cool.
proud. I was
Yes.
so proud. Like he gets it. The messages that we're conveying about therapy, he gets it. It is
Mm.
normal. It is normal to talk to a person that can advocate for you and support you and give you tools that other people may not have access to. That is normal. It's fine to do that. And hearing him, that was like music to my ears. I was like, yes, son. Now he calls me his therapist. I'm not. I resigned.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That probably wouldn't work out, right? I mean,
no,
yeah.
that's not working.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, even though you're not his therapist, I'm sure you're psychoanalyzing his behavior and
All the time.
everything. So it's just a part of it. But
It is.
but no, I love that for him. I'm gonna be honest, you got me sitting there thinking, me and my wife going to have a discussion because our son, we live in we raise him to be like good, like talk to us about anything.
Mm-hmm.
But still
Yeah.
he still may need a therapist. Like he doesn't have a therapist.
Right.
Both of my daughters have been and one of them still goes to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a divorce, early
Yeah.
on,
Gotcha.
so I thought they needed that. So
Mm-hmm.
a safe space to kind of like talk about their trauma from the divorce and whatever they
Sure.
were going through.
Yeah.
Then I won custody of them, so they had to talk about that,
Absolutely.
or whatever. So I'm glad that they had that. But now I'm thinking that, and I'm bringing up my son because me and my wife have a phenomenal marriage, and then sometimes I'll be like, man, okay, well maybe we should go to couples therapy just to make sure we're navigating
Sure.
our happy marriage the right way or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I just, I don't know. But I'm in. Of course, I think I talked to you about being in therapy, just dealing
Yes.
with success and
Mm-hmm.
family and all the triggers that come along with family or whatever. But
Right.
like, shout out to you guys. I mean, because now you got me sitting there thinking maybe my son may need a outlet outside of us to confide into. I never thought about that. Because we feel like we talk about everything and it seems
Mm-hmm.
healthy. I hadn't seen anything yet, but doesn't mean there's not something there. So,
Well, I mean, just having a conversation of like, if you ever need it, always feel free.
mm,
Like, let us know. No questions asked. We'll get you set up. But just know, like, that's there. And Kingsley is different. He's wired differently than DJ. So, if
so DJ
Kingsley,
didn't need a therapy. He didn't go to,
he did.
oh, he
DJ
did.
did.
So
Kingsley did
Kingsley
not.
didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh,
Kingsley did
Kingsley
not.
did not. Okay.
And
Gotcha.
I mean, he's 14. Who's to say he won't?
Okay. For sure.
But they're just wired differently in how they process things. And one is more expressive internally versus the other one being more expressive externally. You
Mm,
probably could figure out which
su-
one is more external with their
for sure.
expression than the other. But So a lot of Kingsley's is like, he's gonna say it. And a lot of DJs is like, just so you know, it's here if you
Right.
need it. Like, just so you know, like you have that resource. And so just him taking us up on utilizing that resource at that particular time was like wonderful. Now you know. Now we've created a foundation of like, you got a comfort with that. And so you're good. And so Kingsley, like DJ also normalized that for Kingsley. You know what I mean? Like
I
what
love
my
that.
brother did. So it's got to be all right if my brother did,
Yeah.
and you use it when you need it. And so like that's cool. You use it when you need it, and guess what? The thing is, you can say whatever you want to say. You can't say a thing to us. So like, go to work. Go to work, because
I
I'm gonna go to
love
work
that.
on y'all in my therapy session. I'm wearing all y'all out in my therapy session. So feel free to do the same thing about us.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, because you said that made me think about Mel Robbins' Let Them, because they talked about like allow people to judge you, just let them
For
judge you.
sure.
And I know I was telling one of my family members one time, I was like, well, I just learned to just let y'all judge me because I'm judging y'all too. So it's all good. I mean, we're just all judging each other. It was just a point that I thought I could do something about it. And now I realize I can't.
There we go.
I have to let you guys have whatever your perspective and opinions are, because I have mine of y'all.
Absolutely.
So we're all letting them around here. Okay. So this is not a one-way street here. You guys are being judged. And it ain't looking good for some of y'all. Okay. So I'm just saying. So
Right.
y'all passing our judgment, but you don't realize that we're all, and it's okay. I mean, it's just a part of that's a part of life. We'd have no control over that. But I like how you talked about how healing is holistic, and you can be wealthy and still be unhealed. And I think some people may not understand that. They may think, well, if I had money, I'd be in such a better place, but that's just not true.
It's not true at all. And because your mindset, you can be a billionaire. And what always kind of comes to my mind was a billionaire that lost his entire family. He didn't lose his entire family. He lost all his children. All his children died at the same time, like at an event. You can't tell me that his billionaire status mattered to him at that point. This man had to navigate through grieving every last one of his children at once, the complexities of that. He might still be in grief, and rightfully so, but you can't tell me a healed person does not feel successful in whatever they're navigating in life, whether
Come on
they
now.
are a billionaire, whether they're a thousandaire, whether they're a
Come
hundredaire.
on now.
You can't take the peace
Come
that
on.
a
You better say
healed
it. You better say
person
it.
has. They find value in other things that are not attached to like a monetary attachment or even tangible things. Like that's different. But
Way different.
you only know how that feels when you go through a healing
Come on now.
process.
Sure.
An unhealed person will think like that does
That's
solve
BS.
everything.
I just need the money.
When you got peace, man, please, you can sit in a room, four walls, and be having joy, authentic joy. All the bills paid, maybe.
Maybe not. It's all
Maybe
good.
not, but you got peace and you have joy. Ain't nothing like that.
It's
You can't buy that.
nothing like that. No, you're 100%
It's
right.
not for sale.
It's not for sale. Because when you get that, like you said, I mean, bills paid, some maybe not, but you control the controllables. I don't have the money to pay those other bills. It's good. I mean, I'm at peace.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good. I mean, that's that locus of control. And it's just like going back to what you were saying about just Mel Robbins, like let them. Something I'll often say to clients is like, with that let them theory, it's like imagine trying to like convince someone that has agreed to dislike you or not want to bring you into their life or whatever they've made the agreement about with you. Like imagine you trying to convince them. When do you think that date ends? It doesn't. You could be trying to convince somebody for a lifetime. I'm good. I won't. Whatever it is, you believe it. Believe it, feel it, whatever you got it. You get to, because they're your feelings. I have no monopoly over your feelings. You have a right to them. But I won't try to convince you otherwise. And I try to encourage my clients, like, don't try to convince someone, because sometimes people have already made an agreement about you. Allow them to make that agreement.
I love that. They've already made an agreement about you.
Some people just decide I don't like you, and you why? Because I just don't. You made me feel this way or whatever. Okay, you'll be trying to convince that person for a lifetime that have just resigned to I don't want to like you.
Let's see. Hey, I don't want to like you.
Mm-hmm.
I hope y'all listening to this. I'm just saying. And I like how you said when it comes to trying to have power over how people think about you, give people back their stuff.
I'm a big proponent of that. Give people back their feelings because it's theirs. You trying to manage it. You can't
Right.
manage another person's perception of you, emotions. You can try to do the best you can of how you're showing up. That you do. That's a control.
For sure.
Got control over that. But how a person experiences you and how they decide to like have their perception of you, you don't get to. So oftentimes I'll hear, I don't want to make this person feel. You don't have any control
You're not
over
responsible
that.
for their
You're not
feelings.
responsible for
Right.
that person's feelings. God isn't responsible for our feelings. We got free will with
Yeah,
God.
free will. Free will.
Imagine like being tuned up into that.
I
So
love
how
that.
then we take on a God complex?
Come on now.
We cannot take that on. We don't have the capacity to.
And you cooking.
That tears people up for years. That people pleasing. Well, I don't want them to feel this way. Well, they might feel bad if I say this. They get to. What did you need to do for you?
I like that. They get to. They get to say these bad things about you. And it's okay.
You gonna try to convince them to not, and they say, "No, I am." Oh, okay. How much time you gonna spend on that versus like, okay, well, what will bring you joy? What will be pouring into you? Because that's gonna exhaust you. That's gonna be pouring out of you.
Getting back to your specialist of trauma, you said something that I really like. You said we're talking about how um, your experience. Well, you said trauma therapy is subjective to experience, and you also said it doesn't have to be a war zone. It's about whatever is warring inside of you or warring with you. And sometimes people think that the PTSD is only applicable to veterans, but people experience this. This is not something that is just exclusive to veterans.
Absolutely. So, like I was saying the other night, I shared with a student um, when I was teaching that he had just kind of got the breakdown of like how PTSD is defined and how it was diagnosed, and like the light bulb went off. And the student followed me to my office, and he was like, "I think I got it." He was like, "But that's from people in the military." And I was like, "People in the military don't have dibs on like PTSD. Like that can be applicable to however your brain has recognized a traumatic experience." And so the student went into he was born and raised in Chicago, and just happened to transition to Augusta. And the student explained everything that resembled a war zone, having to be on guard, walking to school or going to the store, having 10 and 15 friends killed by guns. Like everything you described was a war zone, but it doesn't even have to be to that extent. People have PTSD from car accidents. People have PTSD from experience, like childhood experience, adulthood experiences. It's whatever your brain has recognized as a traumatic experience. And not everything is trauma, but a lot of things are.
No, I like that. I like that a lot. Well, let me ask you this, Doc, because we also were talking about cultural differences. So, so when it comes to therapy, do you believe that I want to make sure I word this correctly. Providing therapy or counseling for people is different based on race sometimes and experiences. I'm guessing. I don't know.
So I think if I'm gonna be honest, representation does matter. It just does because it's a different understanding of our cultural experiences that one culture wouldn't understand. Um, you would have, let's say, and this is not intending to play the race card, but that's the truth. That's factual. You might have a white therapist that's not understanding like who is Big Ma
Okay. Okay.
and how the dynamics there. That's not going to be based off of like maybe a theory that you saw when we were going through school. And we're talking about a white male therapist that has created a theory based off of their cultural experiences. Big Ma would not have the same dynamics in that theory if we're using that framework. But I know what you mean when you're talking about Big Ma, because Big Ma could have been like 3 different roles in your life. Like that matters. If a client is needing to talk about drugs or guns or something like that, they need to be able to trust that I get you and you're not getting reported because of whatever
Right.
it is that you're talking. There's a cultural mistrust, but that's historical. Like we could go back and talk about the historical cultural mistrust regarding medical mistrust with African Americans. That goes back into slavery. I mean, it's even as recent in the 60s, with the Tuskegee experiment,
Right.
where they're giving African Americans, what were they giving them? They could have given them penicillin, but they were giving them it was the STD, and this is my brain fog.
Syphilis.
Syphilis. They were giving them syphilis, and a lot of them died because that's a cultural mistrust. You got these people representing as if you can be trusted, but when we come down to it, you couldn't be trusted. And medically, there's this major distrust with even wanting to share those most intimate things. So there's a barrier. There's a barrier when we're talking about accessibility, the care. That's why I think representation matters. Am I a proponent for therapy as a whole? Yes, I want you to go get therapy for sure. But do I know that there's a major difference culturally with just our language and dynamics that we only understand? Yes, I do, because I'm not going to, when I have a Black man telling me like my experience navigating through the world is different, I'm not going to dismiss that. I'm not going to ask you how, because I know how. I know you're looked at differently no matter like your success, or if you're reformed, I cannot judge you versus like there could be a fear element connected to you. I'm not looking at you funny. I'm not judging you. I truly don't have to judge you because you could tell me this story and I'm like, yeah, I get it. I see how that was connected to that. I could see how you're a great guy, but yet you may have gotten into some trouble because that was a circumstance of your environment. I I don't have to connect the two. I know that that was connected to that without judgment there. And sometimes that's a heaviness, um, and a barrier that prevents a person from
Going to therapy.
going to therapy. Because who wants to explain all of that when it's already difficult to go to therapy?
Wow.
When somebody can I just get it.
Listen, man, I'm trying to be careful here, man, but my therapist is Black, and
Yeah.
I feel like we got a connection, man. It's like, and I've had therapists that were not Black, and
Yeah.
they were not bad or anything like that.
Right.
It's just that with my therapist now, I don't have to explain certain things. Like he gets it, he understands it, he culturally, and so I get to recover faster, I think.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm.
I'm not trying to say anything. I mean, I'm just saying what I'm saying, which is that having someone that they can identify with me has helped me deal with things a lot faster, and recover a lot quicker.
I agree.
Okay, all right.
I agree to that. I mean, we have to be. I'm a big believer that we have to be unapologetic about that, and I know it. we try, like we really try for the to be inclusive, but it is different. It is very different. And we need to have those connections that feel authentic and genuine and have an ease to it. Um,
I like that because therapy is already hard enough.
it is.
So, well, not for me, it's not, and not for you, but
Right.
people that believe in it. I got a lot of years of this, so it's like it's not hard for me at all. But for some people, to get them to go to therapy, and now I'm gonna go talk to somebody that doesn't understand me culturally,
Right.
that could be tough.
I'm good after the
White,
first
white or
session.
black. I
Yep.
mean, maybe even it's a white guy. I mean, or a
Yes.
white woman. They may feel like, well, you don't understand, what it's like to have a trust fund. So, you can't
Right.
really relate to my situation, and, or whatever the
Absolutely.
case may be. So I think that it's important to have relatability. I mean, if you're really gonna make progress, I mean, you need people to relate to you. I don't think that's a bad thing. Somebody might
It's
be,
not.
somebody may feel some kind of way about this, but I just think that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, and I mean that's a wonderful point. Like you said, of like a trust fund. Like you need to be able to talk to a therapist that
Right.
can navigate through
Right.
that. That's like I don't know that life. Like
Exactly.
how that feel. Now I'm
Right.
interviewing you.
Right. I want to be like you when I grow up.
Right. Like no, I want to be able to help you. You need someone to help you navigate through that
Let me
properly.
get some of that trust fund.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's your boy hold some money.
Let's sign up for the whole rest of this month.
Oh my god, that's funny. But no, let me ask you this, Doc. Are you working on a book or anything?
My grandmother says I am. She
'Cause this
says
sounds
I
like you got a book. It sounds like you got a book in you. That's why I'm asking. So
I think I have several. I think I
Okay.
have several books in me, and that's definitely has always been just top of mind.
Mhm.
And this brand, I think, is helping in that birthing process for sure.
Because I think there's a book in you. I'm speaking. I'm like your husband. Now I'm speaking that into existence, man.
Listen.
You can do it.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
let me ask you this real quick before I forget, because you said something about accessibility. Because I think there's some because we get this even with insurance. People will think, well, I can't afford it. So is therapy affordable for especially certain cultures who may feel like, I'm not going to get therapy because I can't afford it?
Right. I think therapy 100% is accessible. I do often want and desire to accept insurance. There's another layer that other people don't realize about like therapy. It's a thing called like clawbacks, and they can come and say, "Look, we taking $20,000 back from the payments that you received from these clients because we want to verify these notes and make sure that the diagnosis that you said they had, you the person that spent the time with them, but we want to make sure with you. So we need $20,000 back." And they can tie that up for years. So I don't accept insurance. But going back to the accessibility, I do work with clients to like make sure that I'm on or part of like organizations like it's called like the Loveland Foundation, and the Loveland Foundation is for Black and brown women, and they offer like 12 free sessions to women, and they pay the therapist. And so I'm big, and I'm also on a part of a therapy foundation for Black and brown women, Black and brown people, excuse me, in Washington State, where I'm also licensed, and that's a therapy fund too. So I make myself accessible like in those areas, and also, I do sliding scales with my clients too. But the way that things have changed with medical insurance,
Mhm. Sure.
probably paying out of pocket is way more
It's cheaper.
accessible now,
Okay.
based off of what people are having to pay for insurance due to the new administration.
We ain't gonna get into you.
We won't get
Yeah,
into
ain't gonna
that.
get into y'all little new administration.
Nope. But if
But,
y'all can get y'all hair done, get your nails done, and go and get these things like put into perspective, like how helpful would this be? And I think we find the funds for the things that we find to be important. So
Yeah, shout out to you. I'm listening to you talk about being a part of therapy funds. Um, uh, 12 sessions free. I'm assuming you got to qualify for this. I'm assuming, right?
Well, everyone qualifies.
Oh,
All you got to
wow.
be is black and brown. That is literally
Uh,
your qualifications. Now, there will often be like a wait list for it, but get on the wait list. You
okay.
will be pulled off the wait list. Every single
Uh,
person that signed up has been
this is
pulled.
this is what free game is all about, man. Is you're giving folks some free game here. Like I've never heard of anything like this. So
Mm-hmm.
this is Loveland.
Loveland Foundation is
Loveland.
black and brown women, and long as you sign up for 18 and over, they'll pay for 12 free sessions. That could be 3 months of therapy.
Wow. Okay.
Life changing.
Yeah. No, that's definitely life changing. And you also do sliding scales.
Right. I also do sliding scales.
Therapy is very accessible and affordable, guys.
It
Okay,
is.
we need to get up. We need to work on this. And shout out to you, man. Like this is your purpose. Then you turn that into a brand to just bring more awareness about something that you're passionate about, that you want to spread to other people. I just think that's so powerful. Shout out
Thank
to you,
you.
Dr. Shine.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before you leave us?
I just want to say I'm so grateful to just the community, to the CSRA for just the outpour of support that I have received, and just like the messages and how it has connected with you, and just keep it coming. I appreciate it. And, like I said the other night, is if you have questions about like how to navigate through therapy, it does not need to be with me. I'm 1,000% okay with that. But if you have questions about like what does that look like, what questions should I ask? Are there people that you recommend? Are there things you recommend? Message me. You can find me, Jessica Shine, on Facebook. You can, find me prettygirlsheal.co on Instagram. You can go to prettygirlsheal.co, the actual website. It has the ability for you to send messages and emails that way. But I'm all about us getting healing. And again, I'm big on just getting it. Does not have to be through me. Just you getting what you need.
So on Instagram and where else? You said prettygirlsheal.co.
That's the actual brand website. It'll
Okay.
have the hats and things like that, but it also has like the accessibility for you to send emails as well. You can get in the chat. And so I have access to those emails.
Yes, ma'am. And let me ask you this: someone who wants to inquire about a session or booking a session with you, how would they go about that?
Sure. So they would go to healingandhealthy.com. That is my practice site. And so there's a contact contact page, and you pop your information in, and I'll get that email and respond right to you.
Listen, Dr. Shine, listen, I felt like I just had a therapy session here. So thank
Well,
you so much.
You are welcome.
I appreciate
I
it.
enjoyed it.
Do I owe you anything for this?
You don't owe me
No,
a thing.
I'm good.
Do I owe you? I
I'm-
appreciate this opportunity.
Am I part of the 12? Like I can,
Yeah.
well, no, I guess I ain't a female. So,
You're not a
but it's
female.
okay. It's okay.
That's all right. You got it.
So that's how my family. Oh, you got it.
No,
Oh, you don't
got
mean it like
this.
that.
You got this session. This
Oh, I
is
got the
on
session.
me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this
All
is
right.
on me.
Okay. All right. Whew, see, I almost got triggered.
See, I see.
Y'all almost got it.
I
So,
see.
but I had to let them. I said, okay, I'm gonna
There
let her
you
have
go.
that.
That's
know what I'm
right. You
saying?
got to let me have that. You got to imply that theory.
Well, listen, Dr. Shine, thank you so much for chopping it up with us. Listen, this is going to conclude the episode of Free Game Don D, Life,
Thank
Family, and Business.